Long before he would become emperor and rule over the galaxy, a young Sheev Palpatine would show his ruthlessness in a terrible display of violence. Violence against his very own family. Palpatine always had a tumultuous relationship with his family, primarily his father Kosinga Palpatine. This father-son relationship became more and more fractured the older Palpatine became, and Kosinga wasn't at all pleased when his son found a new mentor/friend of sorts in the moon named Higo Damask, also known as, to really no one at this time, as the Sith Lord Darth Plagueis. Kosinga despised his son literally since the day he was born, being able to feel a dark, unnatural power that dwelled inside of the young man. Noting that Sheev was born mature, and found himself even jealous at times that his son was superior to him and that he would be everything his father was not. Palpatine was a rebellious young man, defying his father's orders while his siblings obeyed intently. Over time, Kosinga would become frightened of the boy, as he was able to notice something was very off with him. And as I stated, when Higo Damask came into the picture and befriended Palpatine, things only grew much worse. Kosinga, who was a nobleman, and of course head of House Palpatine, decided he would send his son away for a time during a period of election on Naboo, and also to get him far away from his new influence in Higo Damask. A young Sheev Palpatine did not take well to this, and his rage and natural darkness that his father could sense in him so often finally came to full fruition. On board a starship on their way to Comel Minor, Palpatine confronted his father. The following comes from the novel Darth Plagueis by James Luceno, and it states, Palpatine looked out from beneath his quirked brows. I was born mature, father, fully grown, and you hated me for it. Hated you more than you know, Kosinga said, allowing his ire to rise once more, enough to want to kill you from the start. Palpatine stood his ground. Then you better do it now. Kosinga took a step in Palpatine's direction, only to be hurled back against the bulkhead separating the communications room from the main cabin. A female voice from behind the hatch asked in distress, "What was that?" Nursing an injured shoulder, Kosinga looked suddenly like a trapped animal, his eyes wide with surprise and fear. He made a move to strike the handplate that opened the hatch, but Palpatine thwarted this effort without raising a finger. Twisting violently around, Kosinga fell over one of the acceleration chairs, bloodying his face as it struck the armrest. A pounding began on the hatch. "Guards?" Kosinga shouted, but the word had barely left his lips when the bulkhead against which he was slouched buckled inward, heaving him face first to the floor and driving the breath from him. Palpatine stood rooted in place, his hands trembling in front of him and his face stricken. Something stirred behind his incandescent eyes. He heard the pounding on the hatch and whirled. "Don't come in. Stay away from me." "What have you done?" It was his mother's voice, panicked. Kosinga pushed himself to his knees and began a terrified retreat, leaving smears of blood on the deck, but Palpatine was advancing on him now. "If the Force birthed you, then I curse it," Kosinga rasped. "As I do," Palpatine growled. The hatch began to slide to. His mother screamed. Palpatine pressed the palms of his hands to his head, then, in eerie calm, streaked to the hatch, pulled the surprised guard through the threshold, and tossed him clear across the cabin. Raising his face up to the ceiling, he shouted, "We're all in this now." Not long later, as Palpatine was still in the starship, he made contact with Plagueis. "Tell me what happened," Plagueis demanded. "I killed them," Palpatine snarled back. "I killed them, even the guards." Plagueis restrained a smile. Now, to reel him in further, the Sith thinks to himself, and ensure his continued usefulness. "Everyone's dead," Palpatine says again, coldly and still processing the events. Plagueis assures Palpatine that he is sending help and that the young man will be returned. Offer no explanation of what occurred, even if asked about, but follow every command without question. I will see you soon, Palpatine. "But the ship," Palpatine pauses. The evidence. Plagueis gives a reassuring promise. I'll make arrangements for the ship's disposal. No one will ever learn of this event. Do you understand? Palpatine nodded. I trust you. Plagueis returned the nod. And Palpatine, congratulations on becoming an emancipated being. And with that, Palpatine would fully begin working alongside and training under Darth Plagueis on his way to become one of the most dangerous beings ever seen in the galaxy. The Manipulator, the man responsible for the Jedi's demise. In this early event as a young man is when he truly opened himself up completely and fully to the dark side's influence, and his own family paid the ultimate price. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, as always, may the Force be with you.